Alright, well the next step in this process is knowing that we've already installed our oil drain plug and our oil filter. We have the oil pan and timing cover intact. I'm going to go ahead and pour my motor oil in this on all these lifter bore holes, which will be lubricating the lifter bore holes, and we'll be getting some oil on that camshaft even though we pre-lubed it. Then we're going to slip in every hydraulic lifter in all the holes and oil prime the system. Now this is really the best way to do it. Most of the time if you don't have an oil primer, you'll end up soaking your lifters in oil. It's good at least to soak them overnight anyway. But when we do it like this, we don't have to soak them in oil. We're going to actually oil prime the oil pump and make the pump oil through the complete system and the whole engine, and we'll get all the air bubbles out of the lifters, flood the crankshaft and all the bearings with motor oil. It'll be ready to fire up without getting any damage done to it. It's the best way to go. So anyways, I always recommend a 1040 or 1030 motor oil for the first couple hours of break-in time anyway. That'll flush everything clean and travel through the system a little easier than a thicker oil will. So we're going to use our brand new lifters here. Always make sure that they slide in easily. They have to fit in there so they'll slip up and down. They don't want to get a stuck lifter, so it's one thing to look for when you're putting them in. You shouldn't have to force them in. They should slip right in easily. Actually, these are fitting quite nicely. They're going right in, no hassle at all. Usually your machine shop will check the bore of these, because there are times when your old lifters will get stuck and wore out in there and they need to clean up these bores. Alright, everything fit in there perfect, nice and smooth and no hang-ups. So next we're going to hook up our oil pump primer tool and pump this system full of oil. Alright, now that we're ready to oil prime the system, I'm going to show you some little homemade apparatus that I've got here. Now all this is an old point style wore out distributor which I took the gears off of, and I use that for my oil priming tool. This will fit right in there. See how the shaft will come right out of it. See how the shaft will come right out of it if I pull on it. So anyway, we'll put that right in the oil pump distributor shaft hole like so. Put that in the distributor shaft hole like so. I have my special tool right here, which actually is just a vice grips pliers. Clamps right on top of that. And I just have an old Chevy oil pressure unit that I screw in the top of the block to plug the hole here. That's where your oil pressure line will hook up to. So now all we do is just crank this thing. We're going to get some oil pressure. Now what I'm doing is I'm sucking the oil up through the oil pump, into the oil filter, into all the oil galleys in the motor, and pretty soon you're going to see oil coming out of these lifters here. There you go. What we're doing is pumping all the air out of the system. You don't have to go very hard. I feel a lot of oil pressure just turning it this slow. Some people think you need to use a drill or a motor to turn this distributor like this, but all you need is a little hand power and it'll work. Alright, now that I've got most of the air out of the lifters, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to crank the engine over by hand. Oh, there goes a lot of air. If you could hear those little bubbles. And we're going to crank the engine over by hand and let oil pressure go into the empty crankshaft also. Just takes a few revolutions and you'll have it full of oil. That way when you first start this engine up, it's going to have oil pressure instantly. It'll do no damage to it. Alright. Alright, that should do it. There's no more air bubbles coming out, just pure oil. So we should be good there.